Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie Comics' Sonic the Hedgehog, asking if you're comfortable having your personal information easily accessible online. Imagine Robotnik was trying to hunt you down to roboticize you. Could he find you? Have you looked deep through your social media? Are there any pictures or posts or friends' posts to indicate where you live? Don't get roboticized by the government. I'm Nick. Except for this intro, I wrote the scripts.
And I'm Dominic. And except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script.
I have just so much information online. I'm so easily found.
Yeah.
Because of this podcast. I'm going to get roboticized because I want you guys to listen to me rant about Archie Sonic the Hedgehog. And you know what? It's going to be worth it. But hopefully it happens in 10 years after we finish.
Yeah. Got a lot to go through.
And then maybe 15 years because of all the IDW stuff. Yeah. And then there's that weird Sonic the Hedgehog comic from Europe where he's brown.
What?
Oh, yeah. So you know how...
you're talking about Sonic the comic?
Yeah. They also had free reign.
Fleetway, yeah.
So while Sega of America was just like, you just kind of do what you want. Well, I don't know how much... Well, yes.
It's
Sega
crazy.
of Europe got the same treatment.
It's crazy how, just different regions of the world could just do whatever they want. Even, America, it could just, they could do whatever they want amongst, three separate mediums.
Well, you know what? We're getting very ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about it while it's on my head. I introduced a bunch of new characters in this issue, specifically a pig, a duck, a hedgehog, and armadillo. And while looking at it, I was just like, man, the design of these characters are so unlike Sonic, and the direction that Sega of Japan went with the character designs. And I thought that originally with Rotor and Antoine and Sally. But man, seeing other animals just really drove it home.
Original American animals.
Yep. Yeah.
And by that I mean American drawn.
Yes.
It's so clear. If you can draw a line from Tom and Jerry to these these characters straight up.
I'll say Looney Tunes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the better comparison. 100% correct.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Sally Miniseries, Part 1. Released February of 1995. Script by Mike Antonovich and Ken Penders. Penciled by Art Mahwini. Deadliest of the Species, Part 1. Not long ago, the planet Mobius was a world of great beauty and joy. Guided by the benevolent King Acorn, all seemed like a paradise. That is, it was, until the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik rose up against the inhabitants of the great city of Mobotropolis. You put Mobotropolis?
That is the name of the city.
Why?
Hey, that's what these guys decided is Mobotropolis.
Got it.
Yeah, I think I could come up with maybe something a little better.
Yeah.
Like Metropolis City or something.
I'll be honest, I promise I read this page, but I just saw Obotropolis. I glossed over that M because I'm like, that must have been a typo in my head. I didn't even actively think
There's
about
no
it.
way they'd be this dumb.
I don't know. Maybe it'll make sense later.
No.
But we've been saying that a lot. Yeah. Rose up against the inhabitants of the great city of Mobotropolis, conquering the land and its people. In the aftermath of the devastation created by Robotnik and his mechanical army of SWAT bots, he subjected the citizens to a process whereby they were remade into mechanical slaves toiling over the polluted lands on the new rechristened Robotropolis. As for the king, to this day, no one can be certain of his fate. But where there is great loss, there is often found great hope. Among the youngest of the citizenry where it's most courageous. Banding together as a group of freedom fighters, they struggle to one day regain what was once theirs. Among the greatest of the freedom fighters is Sonic the Hedgehog, the swiftest of them all, assisted by his loyal friend Tails. Rotor serves as the group's inventor and chief engineer. Antoine is renowned for his military skills. Bunny Rabbit makes great use of her robotic limbs, led by the courageous and resourceful Princess Sally. They form the spearhead of the Rebel Alliance. As Robotnik's forces grow in size and strength, Princess Sally knows the freedom fighters must do the same. And so she begins to recruit the next generation of freedom fighters.
This feels like a good point for me to jump in. Normally we have like very easy defined breaks where we can like talk about what happened. But
It's
this
like
one,
end of part 1 for no reason. And
yeah,
then immediately
exactly.
pick up
But
in
I
part
love
2.
the fact that it does that because it gives us space to talk. This doesn't happen here. So I need to kind of interrupt you on when I want to just kind of say something, which maybe the flow will be a little weird. If you guys don't like it, let us know. But a few things. We're going to start with, I think this is like the most defined things are right now. Like,
yes.
It's nice to have it written like, oh, King Acorn has disappeared and no one knows where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've been speculating these things. It's really annoying that they've waited this long to give us like a, hey, this is what's happening in the world.
To be fair, I tend to not enjoy a whole page of exposition. I don't like that. I am a fan of show, don't tell. But because we are on issue like 20...
That's the thing.
I'm like, okay, please, I need a lifeline here. Give me something. Because your or these guys' world is so fluid.
Yes.
Has been fluid over these 20 issues that this is what we need right now.
Well, that's why I like it right now.
I agree.
Is because
totally
it's like defining, hey, this is the world. I mean, this is the first time we're hearing Mobotropolis.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's got to be a typo. In my head, I was like, that's got to be a typo. Yeah.
But it's nice to have like all of this completely defined, and we get to find out that Rotor is not only the inventor, but a chief engineer, which is something I would not have assumed.
I think I could have assumed that because he's if the guy's got a wrench most of the time, then you can kind of infer.
But he's only invented things.
He hasn't like actually fixed things to last. That's true. A lot of his inventions do kind of fall apart for comedic effect.
I find it interesting that Buns, everyone has their skills. Sonic is swift. Well, Tails doesn't have anything, but he's 4 years old, so I'm letting a lot slide there. Antoine is this quote like
renowned for his military skills.
Insane. Sally is a leader. Rotor is a fixer and chief engineer. But Buns, she just has robot legs.
To be fair, that does make her the strongest person.
Then
on the
say
team.
that.
Yeah.
Why did they? It really weirds me out.
She's the tank.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if she's the tank of the group.
But she's the strongest.
Yeah. Being the tank is not necessarily the strongest.
Sure.
They often go one and the same, but you're right. He's the Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably argue Rotor's the tank, but it really rubbed me the wrong way that they gave everyone these like skills, and Buns was just like, yeah, and like she's like part robot.
That is a defining characteristic. But to be fair, have they?
But everything else, it has been like things.
I understand the pattern. I understand the break in that pattern and why it sticks out 100%. Why, or like not why, but what has Buns' defining traits been other than her physical abilities? She's a hairdresser and she's got a southern accent.
Yeah, I think this is our problem with the comic at the moment.
What does she got going for other than that?
Yeah. And it just weirded me out that they didn't just say that she's just really like, I think I would have been okay. It wouldn't have jumped out if they said that she was the strongest of the group or something.
Yes.
It's just the thing that really just, it was just, it rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. That's it.
It was the 90s. We got one strong female lead. We don't need a second.
Yeah, no, we got what we needed.
Yeah. All right, here we go. From the journals of Princess Sally Eggcorns.
Wait.
We have a framing device here.
Yeah, right? I found it interesting that they used the word rechristened.
Sure, because that's like the origin of that word has to do with Christendom, right?
Well, that and...
Well, I think we do. We think
I mean, okay, I guess that is a strong assumption by me. But that is my assumption. But also, is Ken Penders religious?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Or
know
maybe his partner.
I know he's liberal leaning.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why I asked that is because it was that wording, and then they introduced a character with the name Saint in it soon.
That's very true. You're right.
And I'm just like, I just wonder if there's like a very, very, this is what I want kind of. I'm not describing this, but a very...
throwing out any semblance of world building for the sake of having what you want. Like, I want this character to have Saint in the name, regardless of the implications.
Yes. I think that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I also like to think of the opposite. No, there was a Jesus Christ in Mobius.
Well, and so the assumption then, if there was, is that Sonic's the second coming, right?
Yes.
Or is Robotnik the second coming?
Why is Robotnik the second coming?
Because he's bringing about the apocalypse. Oh, I guess, no, he'd be one of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, there you go. And he built the others.
Yeah.
He built the other three. You think Jesus will be a hedgehog?
I mean, there's no other humans. So
what animal would Jesus be?
Oh, if he had to choose?
Let's say Jesus was a furry.
What do I think Jesus's persona would be?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know enough about the Bible, but I mean, he hangs out with fish a lot, but that's a scaly, right?
Correct.
So that doesn't actually count. So that
Scalies aren't people.
Okay. My gut. I'm just gut feeling. My gut, some sort of rodent, something like a mole or something. You know, mole
From the earth?
Yeah, earth. But mole makes sense because he dug his way out of that cave, right? Where the tomb that he's buried in?
I don't think he dug. Well, okay, we don't know. I don't know exactly.
There's different accounts of what happened. Yeah. My account is he dug his way out.
Other accounts is that Jesus Christ got out of that tomb 3 days later. He respawned 3 days later when he went, he moved the boulder at, the front of the tunnel.
Oh, so gorilla. He's a gorilla.
Style. Yeah.
His persona's a gorilla. He's able to move that boulder.
A silverback.
Yeah.
With the ass cheeks.
Oh, hell yeah. Clapping Jesus' cheeks.
Jesus would be... He would have been yoked.
Oh, dude's a carpenter.
He's a carpenter. I mean, everyone was kind of just naturally stronger back then, more physical.
Sure.
Because they had to survive.
Yeah, physical labor and whatnot. Okay, maybe I'm changing my... What's kind of a jacked animal?
I mean, bear... Oh, have to be Middle Eastern, right? You have to think about Middle Eastern animals. So
no, I am a firm believer that Jesus will be reincarnated in America, and that America is the true home of his birthplace.
Got it. Probably in Utah somewhere.
Yeah, that's where all the normal people live.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's an animal that builds?
Beaver.
Beaver.
Jesus would be a beaver.
He'd be a beaver.
Yeah, man.
All right, Jesus the beaver.
So every Buc-ee's gas station is
no wonder Buc-ee's is so popular in the South.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
From the journals of Princess... This is what happens when we don't have natural breaks. From the journals of Princess Sally Acorn. At the time, it seemed a simple enough assignment. Infiltrate one of Robotnik's key energy substations and destroy it. Frankly, I expected resistance, but what I didn't expect was to run afoul of an utterly charming rogue named Jeffrey St. John. St. John claimed to be a leader of some unseen faction of the rebel underground, and a former member of my father's secret service. I didn't know what to believe. St. John screams, "Get down!" Oh, wait, hold on, actually. St. John screams, "Get down!" That was more Australian. That was way more Australian. And pushes Sally into cover behind a giant pipe. Explosions all around them. Sally and St. John are surrounded by SWAT bots. The two of them get to work, taking out SWAT bots left and right. Sally, using her trusty slingshot, is shooting mechanical eggs at the visors of the SWAT bots surrounding them. St. John is using his crossbow until he ran out of bolts. Out of bolts? Some Boy Scout you turned out to be. What kind of freedom fighter are you anyway? One who flies by the seat of his pants, love.
I fucking hate him. Maybe my hatred is like exacerbated by your like impersonation of him.
I intentionally chose someone like really brash and really annoying.
But every single time you speak, I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, there we go. Mission accomplished. There we go. That's like one of those HRMF, like HRRUNPH.
Yeah.
You remind me of someone else I know. Fortunately, I came prepared. Sally takes out another mechanical egg, throwing it at the feet of the SWAT bots. Krakoom! Which is actually what is written. Krakoom.
Yeah, I would never... I think that's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like trying to like...
Well, it really sounds like... So those are called onomatopoeias.
Yes.
Right, like boom, pow, hit.
That's how I started every paper from second grade to senior year of high school.
To like, hey, I need an attention grabber.
Yeah, I just say boom. Every single time they're like invested because they're like, what's this boom coming from?
Yes.
And all you have to do, this is how you get A's, baby. All you have to do is say, now that I've got your attention, let me talk about like, I don't know, Cleopatra for like 3 pages.
Right.
Works every time. Whenever
the teacher would see Nick's name at the top of the sheet, she'd be like, oh God, here comes the boom.
Here comes the boom. I just found out about those guys recently. Really? They're insane. I don't get it. The reason, so they went on what was it?
Just to be clear, who are we talking about?
The Boom guys. I don't know their names.
Describe them.
He's like a dude who I think takes steroids, and he talks about chocolate chip cookies.
Cool. How do you say cookies?
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 Is that not how you say cookies? How do you say cookies?
Now you're saying it normally, but you were emphasizing the coo.
Cool, because it was kooky. What was happening? Let me tell you. And so these guys, I mean, I assume everyone else knows about this but me, but like they just review like food and they just say these are like booms out of Boom.
I actually don't know who you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about the original artist of that song.
Oh no!
Do you not know that song?
So these guys, so it's like.
Do you know the song? Real quick.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Boom! Here comes the boom.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about this guy on not Instagram, TikTok, where
I definitely don't know them.
He goes and this is.
Yeah, this is why we need natural breaks.
This is why we need natural breaks. This is something we decided very early on because it's going to be very hard to follow the comic. I'll shut up after this and then I'll go on whatever rant afterwards. But this dude, he'll like review cookies. He'll just go to Costco and be like, this cookie is like 3 booms out of Boom. And he'll be like, boom, boom. Boom! And it's fucking insane. It makes no sense. And he does it with his son. And this little kid called the Rizzler.
Okay. All you had to say was Rizzler, and I know.
Why is that the thing? Who is this kid?
He's just a kid that caught on. And the boomers love him.
And boom!
Once legacy media catches on.
Well, the only reason why I know this is because they were on Jimmy Kimmel,
right?
And I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel.
Say, why are you watching Jimmy Kimmel?
No. It came up in one of my threads, and this guy was just like, "Look at Jimmy Kimmel hate his life." In which case, I will watch that clip.
Okay,
because I kind of low key don't like Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
And I'm surprised he has a career after the Man Show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
He looks like he wants to kill himself the entire time he's like doing this interview. It's very funny. And I don't know who this Rizzler is, but he just sat there and just like with a weird look on his face, like, which I'm not trying to make fun of him.
Okay, he is a
child.
One, he's a child. Two,
but I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Of course that child is going to respond in that way. Of course the kid's going to be cringe. Every kid is cringe.
It's not that. It's like that's what everyone wants to see.
Exactly.
Is him do this like chin scratch.
The feedback loop is that, okay, people like it when I do this, so I'm going to do this.
Well, no, I get it. Why are people liking this?
Yes, that's the real question. Anyway, I just want to emphasize that we're not shitting on the kid. It is everyone else's fault.
Oh, yeah, no.
That is involved with this.
If anything, I enjoyed the people because they made Jimmy Kimmel hate them himself.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm here for. As official stance of the podcast.
Krakoom! An explosion happens. I like how you had to explain.
Yeah, because it made no fucking sense.
What is Krakoom?
But also, I was going to put in Krakoom because, whenever they do something dumb, I try to incorporate it into the script because I want you to, like...
respond to it. Yeah. I really think they were bored of, like, I'm done writing boom.
I mean, honestly, I kind of get it. If that's why they did it, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, okay. SWAT bots fly in every direction. Sally and St. John run out of the Metropolis Energy Station out into the woods. We cut to 4 animals sitting around a campfire, not Mobini. These are anthropomorphic.
Yes.
We cut to 4 animals sitting around a campfire as they speak in a very formal manner so that you, the reader, can know what their names are. Hamlin, a pig with a blue vest reminiscent of Sally's. Silver Bandolier. He just looks like a regular pig. Maybe Porky Pig-esque, but angrier. Arlo, armadillo, green with a yellow belly. Silver Bandolier. Looks like a regular armadillo. Penelope, duck, purple with a blue backpack. Dylan, hedgehog, brown, silver bandolier, looks like a regular hedgehog. Why are we introducing another hedgehog, but it looks like a regular hedgehog? Who's the deformed hedgehog? Is it Sonic? Or this guy? Because they both can't be hedgehogs, right? Nick, I was thinking about this when I was reading it. I think he's a porcupine.
He's a porcupine.
He's a porcupine.
I realized literally as you were saying it, I was just like, you know what? I bet he's a fucking porcupine.
Yeah.
And like as you were like, that's why I was typing.
Yes.
Is because I went and I was like, okay, what is Dylan? And it's Dylan the porcupine. I can't go on these things because they will ruin. They spoil everything. You can't look anything up about a character or anything.
Yeah, because we're so early, like right at the start, that like by the time you look at their Wikipedia page or wiki page, it's like their updated design and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we're really in the dark here in the early years.
So ignore my rant. But also, like, he looks hyper realistic.
Yeah, it's something's Hamlin looks fine.
It's the proportions of Dylan the porcupine, I feel like just don't make sense.
They don't. They really don't, because there's no neck.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, everyone has a neck except him.
Yeah. So he looks real like stubby.
Yeah. Looks out of place. He looks like an 80s like special effects physical special effects character in an 80s sci-fi movie. Oh,
sure.
But not LucasArts.
Yes. No, the bad
Skywalker
ones.
Ranch or whatever. Yeah. So therefore not cute.
Well, also, I feel like his face looks like a bear. If you just like cropped out everything else so you only saw the face and his ears, that'd be bear 1,000%. To the point where I'm like, I wonder if he was a bear originally. And they're like, nah, he's got to be a porcupine.
All right, so this is Hamlin, and I got to come up with a...
Yep, I specifically made sure everyone talks, so I hope you thought about this.
Okay. So you got me thinking Porky Pig, so we'll do Porky Pig. So you gotta come up here, but like a little bit of Southern,
well, also
not Southern, but like
he's also
folksy.
I feel like he's angrier.
Okay,
he's the one that wants to like beat everyone up.
Okay,
so maybe
we'll get
maybe
there.
Drop a octave.
Now that's my normal voice.
Oh no, are you just Porky Pig?
Can I do the stutters too? I'm gonna cut.
If you want to do stutters, go ahead. Okay. I won't stop you.
I'll do a.
You're gonna really influence what everyone thinks about this character, though, by incorporating stutters.
Yes, we have that much influence. Yep.
Everyone's gonna think that now.
Okay, so all right, I'm just gonna do straight Porky Pig, which I've never done before.
Bold to just go for it.
The princess is sure taking her sweet at the time. Maybe she ran into something she couldn't handle herself.
That's pretty good for her first time.
Maybe for her first, not the timbre.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't need work.
Yeah.
But next time Hamlin comes in, he's going to have a pretty good Porky Pig impression. That's what I'm hearing.
Thank you. 3 more to go. Shit.
Arlo. Porky,
so
pig.
So the armadillo, right?
Yeah.
So, and they have like a stout nose, right?
They never said genders, but Arlo kind of looked feminine to me.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that's like me.
Arlo.
Just like being a little horn dog, thinking everyone's.
Arlo.
Ooh, I like the way you just like stumbled upon there.
Maybe they're Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Una pequeña Español. España.
Do it.
Una pequeña España.
Come into this.
Then it's just going to wind up racist.
Oh, yeah. No, we're way past it.
What is even Spanish accent but English? So now I'm thinking like Puss in Boots because it's voiced by Antonio Banderas, right? There's nothing she can't handle. That's just like generic Middle Eastern.
Yeah, you lost it.
The Muslim Moors, where were they?
I don't know.
They were in Spain.
Oh, duh.
Did you actually know
No.
that? Oh, okay. So, yeah, the Muslim Moors, and then the Inquisition happened.
Okay.
And they were like, let's drive all these Muslims out of Spain and claim it for Christ. And that's what the Spanish Inquisition was for
that makes sense.
Hundreds of years. Yeah, okay. There's nothing she can't handle, Hamlin. She's a trained professional. This is just Middle Eastern. She's a trained professional. I just wish we could have gone with her. And then Penelope, yourself, Arlo. No, like Dick.
Yeah, Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck. No. What are we doing here with Penelope? What was that one Marvel character that's Duck?
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
I have no idea what he sounds like.
Okay, me neither. Okay, I just know the look.
Yeah, that's.
You said it yourself, Arlo. She's a professional. Well, you said it yourself, Arlo. She's a professional. We're only trainees. But how are we supposed to learn anything by watching and waiting? I feel really good about that accent, so I kind of don't want to waste it on a potential like bit character.
Well, okay, let me do this. I normally wouldn't. I just want to know if Arlo is in other things. Arlo Sonic. Well, there's a redesign. So
look at a
Look, this character was created by Ken Pender. So if Arlo is not in the Lara Sue Chronicles, it's wasting all of our time.
Okay.
Does it have a gender here? I'm just curious. Male.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, if you want to stick with that, I'm cool with it. I think that's a fantastic.
Let's just gender bend characters at
Yeah,
our
why
will.
not?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Okay, so now we got Dylan. What is Dylan?
Porcupine.
Dylan the Porcupine.
He seems like the nerd of the group.
He seems like the nerd, kind of. He's giving me droopy.
Ooh.
But not like, I'm not going to do droopy like the character. Patience is a virtue, Penelope, and following orders is the most important lesson. And that also got that Brooklyn accent for no reason. And following orders is the most important. Maybe they're hooked up. Whatever. Okay, sure. They're from the same town.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And following orders is the most important lesson any would-be freedom fighter can learn. If she says wait, we wait until... Dylan trails off. The freedom fighters in training have heard a branch crack and are all looking around to see if there's trouble afoot. Just then, St. John jumps out of the bushes and attacks Hamlin and wrestles Hamlin to the ground. You got 3 seconds to explain yourself, mate. Oh wait, hold on. So maybe he is Aussie.
I thought that's
was he always Aussie?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Did you just guess that?
I guessed like English.
Oh, okay. No, I think he's supposed to be Aussie.
I saw the mate, and now I'm like thinking Aussie. Okay, I'm really bad at. Okay,
I thought you were already doing it. I'm really bad at accents.
Yes. No.
What?
Nor. Wait, do you not know? Do you know this about Australians?
Oh, they can't say no.
They can't say no, and they had like an R at the end.
Nor.
Like nor. So,
Okay.
okay, so accurate. Well, somewhat accurate is nor. Like there is a. It's at the end. It's like a tinge of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nor. It's a little more subtle, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I believe you.
Yeah. You got 3 seconds to explain yourself, mate. Or you'll be one sorry slab of... Okay, maybe a little more grave. Or you'll be one sorry slab of bacon.
That's kind of fucked, right?
Yeah. That's like racist. That is like legitimately racist.
Yeah. I wasn't going to originally make you read these lines, but when he said slab of bacon.
With that aggression?
Yeah, I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm going to. This is weird.
Yeah. With a gun pointed to his head?
Yeah. Which we know is out of bullets, technically.
Sally calls out from the forest, saying, "That's enough." She explains that everyone is on the same side. St. John tries to give Hamlin a helping hand back to his feet, but he declines. Instead, he gets back up and starts trying to fight St. John himself. Sally gets in between the two hotheads and starts explaining that Jeffrey St. John is the leader of the Rebel Underground. The new freedom fighters seem pleased to meet him, except for Hamlin. "The princess may be our hero act, pretty boy, but I don't." It's actually really impressive. Whoever voices Porky Pig like that.
It's insane.
It's so smooth how they do it. Yeah. Everyone goes to sleep at their campsite and wake up early at dawn. Sally wakes up and goes to the center of the camp, where everyone circles around her. "Good morning, people. Nice to see you all up and about for our briefing. As you know, Rotor, the Freedom Fighter's resident scientist, has theorized that by knocking out certain energy substations, the defense system that protects Robotropolis against ground attacks would automatically collapse. Having split the Freedom Fighters' forces into several teams, it remains this team's duty to shut down these 3 stations. We've already taken out the first one, and today we proceed to the second. Any questions?" Hamlin asks why Jeffrey is joining. Sally chimes in by saying that he has the most experience out of anyone, and that he'll be priceless on this mission. They walk through the great forest, heading due north, finding what looks like an Aztec temple. Sally and the freedom fighters start staking out the place, looking for the best entrance, when suddenly, someone from inside the temple starts throwing grenades out the window of the Aztec temple. Sally darts past the explosions and climbs up the temple windows. She throws an egg bomb in the temple like a World War II gunner's nest, and there's an explosion. The junior freedom fighters waltz into an array of dead SWAT bots. Not a single survivor. Sally walks up to her giant computer terminal and uploads a virus. Sally and team are waiting for the virus to do its thing when they hear something in the distance. Thump. 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 2 orb bots have walked in. Circular in nature, these can be described as cartoonish AT-ATs from Star Wars, bipedal with an orb at the top of their legs, and with 2 guns to shoot down on the junior freedom fighters. They also have 2 eyes that jut out of the body for some reason. If this is supposed to resemble an animal, I am at a loss at what this animal could be. So maybe like an ostrich?
I was actually, I was going to chime in. I think ostrich.
Yeah,
if I had to make a guess.
But there's no head. It's the eyes are attached to the body.
Yeah, I don't. But ostrich was the only thing that would make sense to me. It's the eyes that really throw me off.
Yeah, I mean, halfway through, Eggman was like, an ostrich doesn't need a head. Just put the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my, side note, one of our fans is a Gundam fan. So awesome. Gundam is my favorite show. There's a Gundam where they were designing it and they're just like, why is it bipedal? We're in space.
Yeah.
You don't need legs. And so they designed it specifically for space combat where instead of having legs, it just has like a bunch of jets at the bottom.
Right.
And I'm like, sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That's all. Mm-hmm. I picture Robotnik doing this. Like, why are we putting a head on it? It doesn't need a head. It just needs eyes.
Yeah. It just needs eyes. The Orbots start wreaking havoc on the junior freedom fighters. Sally, out of grenades, starts to improvise. She opens a control panel and rips out a bunch of cables, ties one end of the cable to a giant metal handle. She then wraps the other end around one of the feet of the bipedal Orbot, tripping it like an AT-AT. Unfortunately,
is it AT-AT or AT-AT?
Both. I believe like AT-AT is the proper like official way to say it, and then like everyone just calls it AT-ATs.
Okay. Both
Rebels and Empire. I've heard like both factions in the game call it that because it's like a typical slang term. Right?
I thought AT-AT always sounded dumb, so I've always called it AT-ATs. But
I don't. It sounds so. There's a thing in the military where they give a nickname to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I've been, but like I've listened to enough military people where they just nickname everything, right?
Yeah.
Like the A-10 Warthog is actually not called Warthog. It's called the A-10 Thunderbolt, but they just called it a Warthog. I guess because it like rips ass when it's shooting its gun.
I thought it was the original had like almost teeth on the front.
No, you're thinking of the Warthog from Halo.
I thought that's... Oh, sorry. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
You talk about Halo so often.
I do, and I'm not ashamed of it.
So, no, it's okay. It was just when you started talking Warthog,
No, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But anyway, just in the military, they nickname everything. So AT-AT sounds like it's a very natural term that actual real life soldiers would totally call it that.
Also, it is technically faster to say AT-AT than AT-AT.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
Unfortunately, its trajectory is right on top of our new lovable friend, Hamlin. Jeffrey swoops in right before the Orbot crashes and swings Hamlin to safety. The freedom fighters realize that the place is about to blow. With everyone still able to run, they dart out of the temple, with the Orbot in pursuit. They run to a cliff and then turn around, which is enough for the Orbot to not realize it was on a cliff and accidentally step off, tumbling to its doom. Sally remarks that Robotnik must have beefed up his security. Hamlin remarks that you can never be too careful about who you can trust, while side-eyeing Jeffrey. Jeffrey steps up, ready to fight Hamlin. Sally gets in between the two of them again, reminding Hamlin that Jeffrey saved his life just now. If you can't trust him after that, you might as well not trust me either. The junior freedom fighters settle down for the night, all in their own tents. It's late. The fire has sizzled out, leaving just smoldering embers. Jeffrey wakes up, checks on Sally to make sure that she's asleep, and walks off. He pushes a few buttons on his wristwatch, and a portal opens up. Jeffrey appears in front of a metallic door. The exterior of the door looks suspiciously like the Aztec walls we saw earlier. The door opens, and Jeffrey walks down a long, dark, winding staircase. He opens another door and appears to be in some sort of lab. There looks to be a cryogenic chamber. Inside seems to be Princess Sally. Jeffrey puts his hands on the glass of the chamber and says, "Soon, my love. Soon." End of part 1.
Mystery deepens in Princess Sally #2 on sale in March. I don't know what direction we should go in. Let's before we do the obvious of like how we felt about everything. What do we think is happening? Right. Well, first, did you read the next issue or no?
No, I haven't.
I have not either. Okay. So this is pure speculation. What do we think is happening?
What, like for this cliffhanger right here? What's going on? Yeah. So obviously, this whole story, Jeffrey is clearly someone that is not to be trusted, which is a very good angle. I like that angle.
Sure.
And Sally makes the rookie mistake of being like, well, he's clearly against a Robotnik, so he's my friend.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the case, as Hamlin and pretty much the rest of the Junior Freedom Fighters, which is a name we came up with, right?
Yeah. Did they say?
I don't know, but it feels like something we made up because that felt right to me. But regardless, everyone has bad vibes about this guy. But he is, to be fair, the most skilled out of all of them, which is exactly what Sally says, and it checks out. The question is, where do his allegiances lie? Because it looks like he's either time traveling or dimension traveling, or he's just teleporting. So those are the three options. Is it time? Is it dimensions? Or is it just space? So like teleportation. Mm-hmm. Or it could be a combination, of course, as well. It looks like that Sally, the Sally that is in the cryogenic chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
They like that Sally and him hooked up. I think.
So I think we're on the same page.
Yes.
This is a parallel universe, and Sally and him are banging. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's no Sonic.
Right.
And I don't know why, but he's trying to get Sally. Well, obviously he wants Sally out of this tube.
Right.
I don't know how our Sally falls into play.
Maybe she's got a disease. That's like, this is incurable. But we need, except we need the blood of another Sally. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, and like looking at this, like, Sally's definitely human. It's not a robot or anything.
But okay, when you say that, you mean Sally? It's not like a Sally robot.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Sally's real.
It doesn't look like robots we've seen.
Sure. Right. Because that's something that Robotnik has not shown to be capable of that we know of.
Yeah.
Which is androids, realistic looking androids.
Yep. Because there's always
replicants, right?
Yeah, replicants. Because there's always the idea of like maybe it's a robot where she just needs a brain. Sally's brain.
He's actually a he's a tradcath, and he needs Sally. But
I don't know what tradcath is.
Traditional Catholic. So he's like,
oh, okay, I know exactly what a tradcath is.
Yes, and he's like, this Sally's too independent. I need a trad wife. So let's get the other Sally in here.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know how that works, but like, I don't know.
I mean, in a universe with time travel and like parallel dimension jumping,
but Sally's right there. So like, what could he?
That's what I'm confused about.
He needs Prime Sally, we'll say. Prime Sally for spare parts. That's the only reason, because it looks like he says, soon, my love, soon. So clearly at least he has an affection for his universe's Sally, right?
Oh, 1000%.
Because there could be a chance he's like totally like one-sided stalking.
I'm just like, I don't see one-sided stalking.
No, I mean, well, okay. Sorry, what I mean is like completely not... As in, like, the two parties never interact.
Right. No, I got you. I got you. Sorry, I was just like scrolling through to see if there was anything that like jumped out at me that would like maybe give me a hint. The things that are interesting to me, and I made sure to call it out in the script, is it looks like this is like the same kind of like Aztec tomb looking area.
When you say interesting, you mean like it interests you, or rather like it's peculiar, or like
it's peculiar.
Yeah,
peculiar is a better way of.
For the record, I did not like this twist end.
Oh, I think it sucks.
Yeah, because I'm sick of this shit.
Well, we didn't talk about what we thought of the issue.
Right.
Yeah, I was just asking what did we think was happening here, and I think he went to a parallel universe, and he's like madly in love with Sally, and they probably had a thing, and he needs to get something from Prime Sally. I don't know what it could be.
Yeah,
maybe Nicole.
just steal Nicole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean,
I really hope it's not drawn out and it's like it doesn't become a situation where it's like, you could have just killed her in your first instance. You didn't have to do all this sing song and dance.
It is 100% going to be that.
Just
whatever it is.
Assassinate her in that alleyway when you first meet, and then just take her shit and go. You don't need to do this if that is what it winds up being.
Okay, do we think this fucking skunk, do we think he's a good guy or a bad guy? He's a piece of shit. I know that much.
But is he like ultimately a good guy or bad guy? I don't think he works for Robotnik. That's my vibe.
Okay.
He doesn't work for Robotnik, but that doesn't necessarily make him a freedom fighter.
Do you think,
or maybe he's a corrupt freedom fighter, or like so again, the thing that we mentioned this last episode, I actually really, really like the aspect of like the society is so broken and shattered, and there's so many, and Robotnik is such an evil, overbearing presence on like 95% of society, or what's remaining, right? Mm-hmm. That all these rebel groups. So it's like how during World War II, if you actually look at the French resistance, it comprises of a lot of ideologies. Mm-hmm. We're talking like liberal Democrats. We're talking like full-blown Soviet communists, anarchists, et cetera, et cetera. But ultimately, they're all like, okay, we're all French. We all hate the Nazis, right? All right, fine.
No, we'll do infighting later.
100%.
Yeah.
And then so... but that leaves room to be like, okay, this group is kind of shitty, this group's cool, this group's whatever. And I think he is what he says in that sense, where maybe he's not Secret Service. Because again, Sally just took that.
That's the thing that threw me for a loop. Rookie move. And that's the thing that I'm like, okay, he might actually super suck, because I feel like he knew who Princess Sally was immediately, and that's proven here.
But then again, she's that information. She's kind of famous though.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. But like, is the Secret Service super famous? Like, is that something?
Are they? Yeah. Are they like,
we don't know enough about the world.
Are they secret, or are they like U.S. Secret Service?
Yeah. Is it just like, or does he go around calling himself James Bond, and everyone around knows who James Bond is?
He could have come up with a department of, an agency all by himself.
Yep.
That never existed.
Exactly. Because Sally was like, what, 4? What the fuck does she know?
Yeah.
It's not me trying to be mean. It was just like, she wasn't around to see the like fruits of King Acorn's labor.
Yeah, 20 years later, America's plunged into civil war, right? Yeah, I used to be a Navy SEAL. Yeah. I can just say that to anyone. Yeah. The internet's gone.
And if that's what happened, I actually kind of love that. Like, no joke. Yeah. I hope that's his like backstory, is he doesn't know anything.
He's just an opportunist.
Yeah.
Right?
That would be super cool.
We're all speculating, but yeah, he's an opportunist.
So the thing that I will say is we don't know anything about the rebels that he's a part of, their technology, if there isn't even a rebel group.
Right.
Because we don't even know if there's a rebel group. We don't know his technology or anything like that.
Maybe it's hijacked Robotnik technology.
And that's maybe what it is. But that's what I'm getting at is where Sally is being held. Alternate universality Sally or future Sally or past Sally. We don't know what's going on. It seems to be in a very Robotnik looking area.
Yeah, yes, just because this kind of technology we only see with Robotnik.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that maybe he didn't steal it or something, or like took over a facility.
Or maybe it's like, I don't know, the Institute from Fallout, which you don't know, but like maybe it's another group that doesn't like Robotnik, but they do like technology.
Oh, sure.
Certainly the old order had scientists, right?
Yeah.
Again, pure speculation, but right now I'm leaning on it is Robotnik's either stolen technology or like a lab that's been abandoned, and then Jeffrey St. John by himself. He's either got a crush on Sally or like some kind of like a stalker-ish thing on Sally.
I like how you keep on coming back to the stalker thing. You think he's a real piece of shit?
I think so, potentially.
Okay. I'm with you, man. Yeah, real fucking piece of shit.
Or he is what he says he is, but then his feelings for Sally were too strong. Or maybe, yes, alternate reality where Sonic dies really early on and then he becomes the Sonic, where he's like the guy, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But the question is, why does he need this new Sally for spare parts? Maybe he's being dumb about it and been like, no. He can't replace the old Sally with a new one because he wants the old Sally, or his universe's Sally.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. How do we feel about this? Emotionally.
I don't know yet. This is something that I'm not writing this off yet.
Me neither. But that twist, that sci-fi twist at the end, does not gel with me.
I agree 1,000%. I think as a character, I might like just Jeffrey guy.
Yeah, I do.
But I hate him. He's a real piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that actually doesn't mean that I don't like the fact that he's there. Mm-hmm. I like that fact that he's like instantly coming in and he's like bringing in drama and shit and whatnot.
He's got Sonic's cockiness, but none of the lovable anything about it.
Exactly. I kind of like that. Yeah. I like that works for me.
It's hard to accentuate like effectively, but like Sonic and Jeffrey St. John so far really do overlap, but something about Jeffrey really rubs people the wrong way, whereas Sonic is super lovable. And it's like, oh, Sonic, you know?
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, he gets on my nerves, but it's Sonic, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, this dude fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, maybe even worse than Antoine.
It's like he's a little slimy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's a skunk. Something about him stinks.
Yeah. Oh, maybe this society is really racist against skunks.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I would be too.
Oh, shit.
if they stunk like I think this guy does. How do we like the new junior freedom fighters?
They're kind of... They haven't done enough to really... For me to say anything definitive.
I think Hamlin's red as shit.
Just because he's like smart enough to be like, this guy is not...
Not even that.
Oh, not even that?
I mean, yes, that too. But also like the fact that he keeps bringing it up. Yeah, like most people would just be, most people would be like, okay, I said my piece. But no, he gets into like 4 fucking fights with this guy.
And
like,
he's right.
Yeah.
He's correct.
He's like, yeah, hell yeah, Hamlin, fuck this guy up. I'm right there with you. The other guys, they didn't do anything. They didn't really talk.
So no judgment to be had quite yet.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact that, okay, we're getting recruits. We're getting freedom fighters that aren't the main freedom fighters. And it's like, okay, so these could be like red shirts in Star Trek where it's like, okay, Dylan's, I know that's not the case we know now, but like, you know, maybe Dylan dies in the next issue and then it's like, okay, we're bringing in another animal. And that's that's cool that like it's like a full resistance group fleshed out.
I'm super into that. I think conceptually, and there's a reason for this, but I don't like... They're doing multiple teams, right?
Yes.
And this is... we'll touch back on
like
this.
we can imagine that like Sonic is with Tails in another team, and then,
it's insane that they put all the rookies together
with the head of state,
and that's it. That's just fucking insane.
Yeah.
That is just, this should be like Team A is like Sonic and like Amlin. And honestly, just those two, because they'll fuck shit up together just fine.
Yeah.
And then like Rotor and fucking Davey and Tails is another team.
Yeah.
The fact that all the rookies are together and all the seasoned people are together, insane.
This is the end of that is the issue. It's a special, or no, miniseries, sorry, miniseries.
Yeah, miniseries.
So that is...
Get it right.
Yeah, that is the end of of this comic, particularly. Why did Jeffrey St. John ambush Hamlin?
That was literally what it was about. That's why I came to this panel.
Yeah.
Because, like, it makes no sense. Because, like...
Sally's like, hey, we're going to go to see my friends. So,
yeah.
like, why?
And then he sees a group of people hanging out around a campfire, literally talking about Sally, being like, hey, Sally said, wait here. And, like, how he jumps out of the bushes, I feel like there's an implication that he's been there for a minute.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe that's not true or not, but Sally's very far away. And when she screams out, hey, you two don't fight, she's like 100, 200 feet away. And Jeffrey's like about to pop a cap in Hamlin's fucking throat. But yeah, it's just like, he just attacks him for no reason. So like Hamlin's grudge, I feel like is like doubly justifiable. Like not only is he just like, yeah, this dude sucks. He's also just like, yeah, he's suspicious too.
But also like Sally's like, okay, you two. No, this random dude jumped me.
Yeah, in fact, you should be way more concerned with the fact that Jeffrey here is like going around getting ready to just kill people who are sitting around a campfire.
Yeah.
Like no robots around.
Why would a robot need a fire?
Yeah.
So like you should know that these are or at least just like wait and talk to her for a second. That is something him and Sonic have in common.
Yeah,
just
right.
Don't fucking talk.
Sure.
Can you scroll down just to the other end of the page? I like how none of the other animals like help him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's like he's got this.
Well, I'll say they're all junior freedom fighters. They don't know how to fight yet. Hamlin seems like he's the most experienced.
Are we assuming this, that they're all rookies?
It says in the intro, as Robotnik grows, forces, blah, 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 Princess Sally knows freedom fighters must do the same, and so she begins to recruit the next generation of freedom fighters. So that to me implies new.
You're right. No, you're exactly
but
right.
also, we don't know their experience. Maybe one of them was like an ex-mall cop. You know, they see things.
Back when there were malls, I was
right. I don't get Sally's whole egg thing.
I don't. It looked like it's a captured Robotnik technology, but why the fuck is it liquid?
She has her trusty slingshot and she just shoots like robot eggs at people. Hit the SWAT bots in their like visor.
It's the incongruence of the fact that it's a very natural seeming solution, but it's in this Robotnik-esque weapon.
Yes,
if it was
exactly.
like, here's like berries that I pick from the forest because we can't manufacture anything.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That would make sense. Or it's like, here's a Robotnik egg that explodes on impact. That's totally something he would do.
Yeah.
No, instead it's just, here's a Robotnik device, but it like maces them? I don't know.
It annoyed me.
Why? Yeah, this non-lethal. But why would Robotnik ever want to go non-lethal?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense. And I
like how you accentuated separate tense.
Oh yeah,
because Sally and Jeffrey do have a little bit of chemistry.
Yes,
especially when they're fighting together. And the callback to, so you didn't mention it in the script, but when Sally is improvising with the orb bots attacking them, that is something that or maybe you did say it, but either way, she is like following Jeffrey's advice. So it's clear that they have a connection.
Sure.
This very natural, immediate connection. Maybe Sally just clocks him as hot.
When did he improvise?
Correct. He didn't.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like write it in as a callback. She just assumed it was something he would do.
Go back to the first couple pages. I'm going to cut this down, but
because I was just like, when would he have improvised?
Did he say it in the last issue?
Like, what would he have improvised in the last issue?
I don't know. Yeah, he didn't do shit.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just like, it's something you would do. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You don't know him.
Yeah, you met him like a minute ago.
I think Sally really has the hots for this guy.
Oh, of course.
Like a hot dude in her eyes, right? Doesn't matter about the. I mean, there's some distance between her and Sonic right now, like physically, right? They're in separate teams.
Is that all what it takes? That's Sally's love. 100 feet away, and suddenly she's looking at the skunk, the smelly skunk, and it's just like maybe.
This is you don't need to be racist about it.
I do with the skunk. Other skunks are probably fine.
Not all skunks. All right, not all skunks.
Okay, maybe I should calm it down if that's where we ended with that conversation.
Some of my best friends are skunks, all right?
Yeah, right, I can say this. They approved this joke. I ran it by them. So overall,
they let me use the hard S.
Oh no! Wouldn't it be hard K?
Yes, thank you.
Skunk. I don't know. It doesn't work.
I'll probably cut that one.
Hey man, you're allowed to. It's late at night. We're allowed to get raunchy. That everyone understands. Overall feelings. Fine.
There's something there.
Like it.
There's something here.
It's got some juice.
I like some of the fine details in it of like I do like the general direction of this is what a resistance group actually kind of looks like now.
Okay.
This is what we're doing. We're doing infiltration missions. It's asymmetrical warfare. Right? We can't just go to Robotnik's house and beat the fuck out of him and then leave.
Yeah.
Right? That's stupid. This has stakes. I'm feeling this.
I agree. I like this. This is definitely one of the better issues so far. I don't think it's got the juice.
Right. And we'll see by the end of the run.
Yeah, but it does have some juice. So maybe like 2 juices out of 5. Juice.
Oh my God. Of all the things to come back to, you do that one.
I love making cultural references because now when someone watches this in 15 years, they'll be like, I don't get what the fuck is happening with this show.
Yeah. Literally the whole premise of our fucking show is to... Oh my God. I don't even have to spell it out. Yep. Jesus Christ.
There's like some very obvious things very upfront that I said where I was like, we shouldn't try to make too many cultural references.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. And here I am being like, this is what I saw on Jimmy Kimmel today. And like people 10 years from now will be like, who the fuck is Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
What's the man show? Actually, that's people watching now.
Yeah.
Low key, one of my favorite parts is Sally clearing out.
Girls jumping on trampolines.
Yeah. Best part of that show.
Best part of the man show.
And best part of Sally.
Yeah.
Is Sally throwing this grenade into the Aztec temple.
It's like Saving Private Ryan.
It was very Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, where they're clearing out. Yeah, on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them should have been a flamethrower.
Yeah, right? I have a little thing I want to read.
Okay.
This is... I don't know what this is from.
This is from sonicretro.org.
Oh, thank you. But I don't know where the quote is from. Give me a second. I probably should have did that ahead of time. It is from...
kenpenders.com/forums.
Oh, man. He used to have forums.
Of course he did. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's actually the name of the thread is called "Are you kidding me?" I didn't even plan that.
Read this. I can't read all that. I'm gonna read
because of spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, real quick. I just want to pat myself on the back. I said, "Are you kidding me, Nick?" Yeah. That's what I said. Like, yes. And genuinely, honestly. And then he brought up the thread, and it was the name of the thread was called "Are you kidding me?" That was real. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
So I wonder if one of the reasons, and like I don't have any general opinions of Ken Penders yet one way or another, but I wonder if one of the reasons why he's talked about so much in the community outside of the absurdness that is his artwork in Larasu is he just seems like he's the most active out of everyone. Yeah. And so I wonder if that's why so many people like lash out because he's the one that can like take it and like give it back and be like, well, this is what I was thinking when this happened and whatnot.
He's playing the game.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's building a legacy as best as he can from what he had.
Well, I mean, Sega's not making a Larasu app, so I know who has my money. So this is from a direct quote from a forum post from the Ken Penders forum. My then partner, Mike Conventurich, how do you say his name?
Conturnovich.
Conturnovich And I was asked by the then Sonic editor Scott Fulop to submit an outline for our take on a 3-issue miniseries featuring Princess Sally, whom Sega was interested at the time in developing a video game for. So we worked up a story in which the villain turned out to
Whoa. I didn't see that.
I don't know who this is.
That's a spoiler.
How is that a spoiler? This didn't happen.
Did you read this already?
Yeah, this doesn't happen.
This doesn't happen?
No.
You're sure this doesn't happen?
How could it? We just read it and it didn't happen.
It's something that could happen, you fucking dumbass.
Anything can happen, you dumbass.
This is a spoiler.
How? It didn't happen.
You don't know that.
It's a story
Inks
idea
by
that
art.
maybe happens.
Inks by art.
You don't get to say this is a spoiler when it didn't happen in the issue.
But what if it turns out to be a spoiler? Then what?
How would we know?
Because he's talking about something that sounds like it's gonna happen.
All it's saying is that there's a core concept of an idea that might maybe like come up in a different thing.
I swear to God, if
we don't even know who Queen Alicia is.
Yeah, but then okay, maybe by the end of this fucking run, there's gonna be a Queen Alicia, and then we're gonna say, "Fuck, man! Now we'll know what happens with Queen Alicia."
We don't. Even if there's a Queen Alicia, we don't know if she'll be roboticized. It's only the one of many futures that can happen.
Okay.
Because that's Sonic, baby.
Go ahead, read it.
Piece of shit saying I'm spoiling you. So we worked up a story in which the villain turned out to be a roboticized Queen Alicia who ruled over her roboticized subjects deep in the underground sewers of Robotropolis. We were looking to set up Queen Alicia as a potential threat to Robotnik as well as the Freedom Fighters, but Sega rejected this treatment with no explanation. All we were told was try again. So you know what? Sega's just gonna reject that proposal anyway. So this says, how could it be a spoiler? How could it be a spoiler?
You might reuse it later.
How could it be a?
You're playing with fire. That's the thing.
That's what I do, baby.
Okay.
So we decided to make the story a Thelma and Louise style adventure featuring Sally and Bunny taking on Robotnik and his minions, which that sounds fantastic. That's honestly probably what it should have been. Once again, because then we get to finally hang out with Buns, who doesn't do anything.
Right.
Once again, our treatment was rejected with no explanation, so once again, we were told, try again. By this time, we asked Scott for some guidance, a hint of what Sega was looking for, but even he didn't know. So he went up and asked Sega licensing department, and all he got in response was that we couldn't use anything established except for Sally and Robotnik. No Sonic, no Tails, no Knuckles, nothing from the games. Since we had to come up with an all-new scenario, Mike and I started with the premise of Sally recruiting and training new recruits to help in the fight against Robotnik. It was then we decided to add a potential love interest that could also be a rival to Sonic for Sally's affection. The question then became who. Since Mike and I were both fans of Looney Tunes cartoons, we were joking around about the character being a take-off Pepe Le Pew.
He looks exactly
like him. That's why I wanted to read this. Mm-hmm. Oh, he is British. Only we'd make him British, seeing as Antoine was already French and a potential rival as well. Once we decided the love interest would be a skunk with a British accent.
Okay, so it should be British, not
yeah.
Aussie.
But I feel like you should stick with Aussie. It wasn't much of a stretch that he would be a member of member on His Majesty's Secret Service. When working out his name, I threw out the suggestion inspired by Christian martyr St. George, which ended up being reworked into Geoffrey St. John. We did throw in some bit of business inspired by the James Bond movies, especially in the story's prologue that we saw in print Sonic number 20, but that was more for our amusement, as we both felt that the story ended up seeing print was a far cry from what we originally wanted to do. Sega wasn't thrilled with it either, but they had asked for it, and Archie had committed to it, and they were desperate at this point to have something completed in order to avoid any penalties at the printers if the deadline wasn't met.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
It does.
See, that stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I want commentary, like a running commentary from everyone, just being like, hey, so this is why we ended up here.
But Ken Penders is the only one that's doing that.
Yeah, I wish I would like different frames of references. I wouldn't want it to be solely Ken Penders, which It feels like Ken Penders might be the only one saying stuff.
That's right. He's the one that's writing the history.
Yeah, so it's bad when the history is written by one person.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Let's do an email. All right. Speed Boom writes in. Oh, wait, sorry. What are we doing? Get your guitar.
Now it's time for Sonicgrams. You can write to Sonicgrams. Oh yeah, it's a legally distinct Sonicgrams. It's an unaffiliated Sonicgrams. We made our own Sonicgrams.
Sorry, that was almost very silly of me. Speedboom writes in. Thank you, Speedboom. Written after episode 21, thought marking when I write these would make them easier contextually, considering you guys won't get to them in the next direct episode. That is true, and thank you. It's funny that you mentioned Rotor's design changing frequently, because in Sonic, Sat-Am, Rotor gets a drastic redesign between seasons 1 and 2, and a new voice actor as well. Interesting. I wonder why they do that. I wonder if they were like, this show's not hitting. Rotor's clearly the problem. new actor, new design. I know you guys are joking, but to be abundantly clear, I am not Nick or Dominic. I just really like the show and like to show my appreciation for every episode and write overly long and possibly annoying Sonicgram entries. We appreciate your Sonicgram entries. They are not annoying. And we appreciate you appreciating the show. The Mike F lore feels like the Joker in the dark. I think I read this when you wrote it, which was like 3 weeks ago, and that's why it's just like been in my head.
Yeah.
The Mike F lore feels like the Joker in the Dark Knight, where his backstory constantly changes every time he says it. I expect 50 more Mike F origins before the truth is revealed. The truth is out there. Believe it or not, I'm actually kind of happy about the controversy caused by the censorship. You know, a series has been made it big when the weirdo grifters come out of the woodwork to complain about censorship in a series they've never cared about.
We're talking about Rouge's
her honkers.
Yeah.
That felt so gross even saying. But yeah, her all those people angry that she had a more fitting bra that looked more like a heart. How dare they?
Like better design. Yes.
Yeah, honestly, I do think better design too. Unless if you're of the mind that bigger boobs is better design.
I actually don't think that.
No.
And that's not a diss on large-breasted people. It's really just more.
I was going to say, do you think God's
got a nasty rack? Yeah, I think so.
You think I had a joke. I completely lost it. we should probably just cut that because it just sounds really weird now.
What?
Just made me like, you think God has got a nasty rack? I do, because God is a woman. And she would give herself large breasts.
So you'll definitely get more familiar with Ian Flynn in about 4 years. Speedboom did the math. Continue.
But basically, Ian was a really big Sonic fan growing up. He read the Archie comics as they were coming out, and get this, he very often wrote to Sonicgrams.
Whoa, like the in actual.
Yeah, not here.
No.
I think.
Yeah, Ian Flynn, right in.
Yeah, please. He really wanted them to wanted to work on the series he loved so much, and would write to them asking for them to hire him. They accepted him after Ken Penders left. He became the main writer. Did I read that right? They accepted, and after Ken Penders left. Okay, so Ian and Ken Penders worked together.
Okay.
Yes, I think he did. Based on knowledge I have outside too.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they worked together.
Sure. Ian became the main writer of the book until its end.
Right. They accepted, and after Ken Penders left, he became the main writer until its end. Before Ian showed up, the Archie story was messy. What Ian did, and what is one of his signatures of his writing, is embracing the continuity and trying to fit it all into one big cohesive world. It wasn't perfect, but he's really good in my opinion. When the IDW comics came around, he began writing for them, and he started to gain more popularity because these comics were set in the world of the game, so it felt more like what the fans knew and loved. That makes perfect sense. This is what seemingly led to him being brought on for Sonic Frontiers. Before Frontiers, the series has kind of been in an era where it was ashamed of itself.
Rightfully so.
The characters didn't feel real, and it was honestly hard to tell if their past adventures even happened. That's interesting, because I didn't think their past adventures happened.
From like, what's the time frame? Like Sonic Adventure?
I can't use Zelda as the benchmark anymore because they decided it was all connected and there's this weird fucking timeline. Mm-hmm. But I always approached Sonic like I did Zelda, which was like it's its own thing, and it'll pick and choose certain things they want from other like games or maybe comics or maybe TV shows or whatever. But like everything is standalone and doesn't like truly interconnect outside of maybe like something that's a direct sequel, obviously, like Sonic 1, 2, 3 or Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2. Outside of things like that, I didn't think there was real continuity between any of the games.
Honestly, that just sounds like Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
Where that anime has been around literally since, what, the 1970s?
Well, it's a very Japanese style of storytelling, which is...
okay, I actually didn't know that.
Japan is very loose with continuity.
Okay.
And I only know this because I'm a huge Gundam fan. And let me tell you, they really fuck with continuity.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And so, but like, if it's in the service of the story they're telling, they don't care if it messes things up or it changes things that happened in the past. So, especially when it came to a lot of Japan-based like storytelling, I've never been too upset about things fitting cohesively in a world because I know not to expect it. That's actually one of the things I really liked about Gundam was it was very cohesive and very like everything was very well thought out and like connected. And then you get people coming in with origins and it's a lot of the new storytelling. They're like, hey, let's throw in this mech. And it's like, this mech doesn't make sense in the context of the world. Like, this is the most powerful thing in existence. And if you put this in here, then it renders everything else after it. Like, why isn't this always here? It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm like, yeah, when there's no continuity between the Sonic games, that makes no sense. If there's no continuity between something like the comics, that would drive me up the fucking wall. And that may be driving me up the wall in the future.
Yeah.
Because the comics are a very different thing than the games. But like that's why I don't really expect continuity between like the TV shows or the movies or anything. They're all... I think that's maybe a good way to think about it is like Sonic Boom isn't like Sonic Underground, right? They're just like they take these things inspired by Sonic and friends and whatnot and make its own thing. Yeah. And that's how I've always interpreted every single Sonic thing. So the fact that they're apparently connected is really weird to me. Sorry to go on a very long rant in the middle of your email, Speed Boom.
Ian Made Frontiers.
Ian Made Frontiers, a very character-driven story that sort of brings the characters back to a good spot, that acknowledges everything that they've been through and acknowledges so many past adventures in a way that didn't feel cheap, but more like, yeah, these characters have been through a whole lot. He's done similar things with Shadow Generations too. Some fans don't like his writing, but I'd say it's good. 85% of them do, and I'm definitely one of them.
That's the vibe I got from just a vague, look on Twitter and Sonic on social media. People seem to generally like. I would have bet like 70% of the fan base at least likes Ian Flynn.
Well, also, I mean, I don't. When angriest fans are the loudest. So when a lot of people are like complaining about something in a particular way, like 90% of the time I'm just like, well, let me check it out myself and see if these are like legitimate concerns or not. And like 90% of the time I'm just like, you guys are all fucking dumb. 90% of the time. I like to think of it like this: the Sonic world is a bunch of puzzle pieces scattered across the table. Their edges don't line up, though no pieces connect. Ian is a wood carver. He lines up all the puzzle pieces up to find what finished result would look like the best if the pieces did work together. Then he carves them just enough so that they can mesh and make a complete puzzle.
Dang, you really thought about this, people.
Bro, that was like elegant as shit.
What the dang?
I fucking love that.
Start your own podcast.
Yeah, what? That was... I feel like I need to reread it because I didn't like give it the let me read it nicely.
No.
Well, okay. I've read it like a dumbass, which is why I'm like, I cold read it. So good to know that IDW is a plan in about 9 years. Again, I did the math. Yeah, this is our life. I hope you like Sonic.
Gives us something to do. Keeps us off the streets.
Yeah, you know me. I'd be right there on the streets if it wasn't for Sonic. And that's the issue. Only 453 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus, but I probably won't be for like a very long time because I got a lot of work stuff coming up. So I apologize to... Actually, I know Speed Boop followed me because I got a notification saying Speed Boop followed me. But
That's all that matters.
yeah, I got my fan. You're my one follower, so thank you. My personal blue sky is at Mojosaurus.
And I'm Dominic. You can follow my jazz adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jazz, and my personal blue sky is at Domguan.
You can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with the panels and watch our handsome faces. You can write in the show at Sonicgrams at gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion on this week's issue. And remember,
When life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and just get through it. You.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, man.
Gotta talk, gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk.